Hey there, it's Derek from Pacific Coast Auto in Japan. Here we're looking at a 2004 Subaru Forester STI. And so this one here is kind of like the Impreza STI, except in the Forester body. And so you get the big Brembo brakes, 6-speed manual transmission, and a 2.5 liter turbocharged engine that puts out 280 horsepower, according to what Subaru said at the time. It could be more than that, considering the fact that the EJ20, the 2 liters, also put out 280 horsepower. And so this car was bought from auction here in Japan. We're going to be sending this one to Canada under the 15-year import rule. And so it's a right-hand drive, exclusive to Japan. You couldn't get, or actually, I don't know. I know these weren't in Canada, but I don't know what other countries these were available in. I suspect something like maybe Australia, New Zealand, UK might have had these. Okay, so engine-wise, everything looks to be okay. The oil and the coolant are both good. No weird sounds coming from the engine. I don't know an awful lot about these 2.5s. I suspect that the Forester STI gets possibly a more robust engine than the regular turbo 2.5s. But I really don't know. This one here, in terms of prices, was maybe lower than the halfway point as far as we see prices. I think it's pretty good value because the car seems to be in good shape. And the white color is maybe the cheapest of them, and then the sparkly blue paint, the same as the Imprezas, would maybe be the most expensive. I'm going to go ahead and translate this for you. One thing that I noticed on this that I hadn't noticed on other ones, I think that the fenders on the STI have been widened by like a centimeter. If you take a look here, notice right next to the tail light, it comes out a little bit there. And I can't say for certain because I don't have another Forester next to me, but I don't think that I've seen that on the Forester of this generation before. And so it's something I'm going to be checking next time I see a Forester. Okay, so let's translate that auction inspection sheet and then we'll take a look at the condition and see how it compares. And so 2004 Subaru Forester STI version. It's auction grade 4 with an interior C. That's an original 6-speed manual. I believe they only came in 6-speed manual. This one has 116,689 kilometers on it, interior C, which I think was a little bit harsh on it. It does have kind of a sticky dashboard, and I'll get to that in a sec. Wheels, power steering, power windows, and airbags. The wheels here are the stock ones. That's the original, and they have an STI logo here. So even if you don't like the design of these wheels and you wanted to go with something maybe a little bit more aggressive, then wheels that are official STI wheels that are only available in Japan would be something that's pretty cool to some other people who have Subarus. And then those are the same brakes that you see on the Impreza. Okay, so sales points are turbocharged 6-speed manual and 4-wheel drive. And then the notes are warranty papers going to be sent to the owner. In terms of the report here, it says interior 1 part dirty. It's actually quite clean inside. Steering wheel wear. And yeah, the top has some sun damage and peeling. Console is sticky and scratched, and various scratches. And then looking on the body, it says paint peeling here. The sides have shallow dents in them, nothing really to worry about, but the rear on the right side here has a more sizable dent, and then some mild scratches on the back. So I'll do once around here. It looks like the hood scoop is a little bit not glossy, which is common on these. Otherwise, it's looking pretty good. And so you get the sport suspension in this, and so it kind of eliminates some of the purpose of a Forester being your, I guess, original crossover. And so less ground clearance, but still quite a bit more than the Impreza. And to be honest, whenever I drive Imprezas around here in Japan, I don't find that they are too low at stock height. Not like you often do with Silvias or Skylines or RX-7s. Okay, so let's have a look at damages. So we got headlights here, have kind of a hazy look to them. The front bumper peeling is right here. And the vehicle has hard water spots on it in various places. Actually, I'll show you the worst of it is over here. And so, here it is. This tends to happen on a number of Japanese cars that haven't been properly polished. They'll get this around the corners. And it can be polished off, but it is a little bit unsightly. Okay. rust on the handles there. No peeling on these, which is a little bit odd. And it still has the old style antennas for TV here in Japan. You can run those if you want and see if anyone knows what it is. Because nowadays the signal that these catch has been discontinued, so you can't even use them here in Japan. So here's the U2, and that's just about the biggest body damage on the car. And then of course no rust or anything, otherwise that would have been marked on the auction sheet. Oh, and the rear brakes too get the same Brembo, but they're single piston. Okay, loading tray. This one also has the paint damage on it. You can see there. I'll quickly go into the back here. Nice and clean, and no bad smells inside this. When you buy from auction, you never know how it's going to smell, and a lot of people in Japan smoke cigarettes. This one seems to be fine. Comes with a noisier than usual exhaust, kind of like the Impreza STI. And I don't know exactly how limited these are here in Japan, but they seem to hold their value pretty well. Prices for these in Japan tend to be somewhere around $5,000 to $10,000 or so, depending on the condition. And not an awful lot of legroom. It's basically Impreza. This is Subaru's thing. They basically make one vehicle that looks different in the Impreza, Legacy, and Forester. STI scuff plates there, and still has the original plastic on it. So STI seats, these are really nice seats. Because of the sun shining on them, it's going to be a little bit difficult to really appreciate them, but they're nicely bolstered. Take that key out. And these seats, like the Impreza ones, they hold up well. And they're styled very similar to the Impreza ones, they're just a slightly different color. Okay, so the shifter here, very similar to Subaru's, it's a little bit loose. Similar to most Subarus. And then here I'll zoom in so you can see the stickiness. Definitely needs to be repaired because it makes the interior look terrible. Okay, the gauges aren't as nice as the Impreza ones. They don't have that cool blue and red illuminated look to it. Or maybe it does when you turn them on, but it doesn't look as good when it's not nighttime. I don't want to find out which key it is. Oh, lighters! Yeah! They're all used, I think. Still a good day. Okay, headliner, relatively clean. Back seats, good. It's just that console. And then there was no free CD. I used to all the time get free CDs in these types of cars, but not anymore. Okay, so that's basically it. Forester STI. Probably one of the most useful year-round performance cars that you can get if you live in a snowy environment. Very much like these. So there you have it. I'll leave you off with a view of the front bumper so you can see the cool STI grille. There we have it. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.